What's up, everybody? I hope you're well. The markets today are looking really strong with Bitcoin pushing above $64,000 once again. Today, I'm going to be digging into the Memecoin space primarily to answer the question of, is it too late to buy? Obviously, Memecoins have been the strongest performing crypto sector over the past few weeks. Murad, who has risen to prominence recently, has had some really outlandish Memecoin targets, which have gained a lot of traction and prominence online, resulting in huge pumps across a variety of Memecoins like SPX, POPCAT, GIGA, MOG, PEPE, and WIF are also waking up. The Memecoin space in general looks to be on the verge of something really, really big. However, given the fact the market has run up so much over the past couple of weeks, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, is it too late to buy? If I do buy, what meme should I buy? In today's video, I'll be answering those questions with giving you my full Memecoin guide to help you better navigate this market. Before we get into the memes specifically, let me give you a quick market update because we are starting to see some positive price action across primarily Bitcoin, and also we're getting some life breathed back into the majors as well. Bitcoin held the very key must-hold level at the 59K zone. You guys will know that was a super key level that I was watching last week as a zone that Bitcoin basically needed to hold in order to affirm its momentum, because if it broke that level, that was signifying a swing to the bottom of this regression channel that we have been in. Just keep in mind that until Bitcoin manages to clear the top of this zone, which it hasn't yet, and that would obviously correspond with a higher high, I still think you need to be a little bit wary when it does come to BTC. What I would love to see is, of course, a breakout and us hold above this level at 66K and then make an attempt of this high here, because that would essentially signal a full reversal in Bitcoin all-time highs. However, you do have to be a little bit wary. Take this range for what it is and accept that Bitcoin has had multiple moves to the top of this range and ended up rejecting, and also had multiple moves towards the bottom of this range and ended up bouncing. So I am still playing the range at the moment on BTC, but it is good primarily that we did hold 59K, because that was the key level we just did not want to drop below on Bitcoin specifically. In terms of the altcoins, let's refresh the page here. What is performing today? Obviously, Bitcoin's doing well. Solana is up 4% as well, so you'll notice some of the majors are catching a bid. Sui is a token that has also continued its strength. It's now actually entered the top 15 crypto projects for fully diluted valuation. Near Protocol's doing well as well. And then the top gainers for today are Athena. This is a DeFi play, which I think was really oversold. You guys will know I've spoken about this one a lot on the show as a reflexive kind of bull market play that can perform really well in positive funding environments. We're starting to see the early signs of a reversal there, which is good. Brett, which is a meme that has underperformed, finally has woken up, and then a few other fundamental alts mixed with meme coins performing as well. RWA has also been really strong with ONDO and Mantra, making 5% pushes today. But I'm not here to talk about all the alts in today's video because, you know, I'm here pretty much every day on the channel to talk about a variety of sectors and my theses across various altcoins. Today specifically, I want to talk about the number one crypto sector for mindshare right now, as you can see in front of you, and that is meme coins. Meme coins have been pretty much the talk of the town on crypto Twitter. I have noticed there is much more of a propensity for people to talk about meme coins on Twitter versus YouTube, where I am right now, and the narrative has been much stronger on Twitter. Like, you basically scroll on the app and you can't stop seeing meme coins. There's shills all over the timeline, people spamming tickers in your comments. It really is meme coin mania over there. But what I've noticed is that it's only just started to transgress onto the YouTube side, which is, maybe you could argue, more of a retail platform over the past few days. I actually put a meme coin video out last week. It got not a lot of views at all. At the time, it was actually one of my worst performing videos. Over the weekend, that video really started to pick up and started to perform well. So that's an indicator to me that we are now seeing the sentiment for memes shift out of the crypto Twitter bubble and now into the mainstream. I guess it's now a question of, can meme coins now cross the chasm to becoming truly mainstream and really perpetuate themselves amongst the retail social medias like TikTok, Instagram, further on YouTube? That's something I'll discuss later today, and we'll look through some data as to whether I think that is the case, but that is a question we have to answer in order to answer the question of, is it too late to buy? Because if it is going to continue to make a push on these social medias, then we very well may be early, but if it's limited to like the CT bubble, then, you might be slightly later in at least this current move. But I'll speak about that and my buy plan for memes in just a few minutes here. The first thing to note, of course, is, as you can see in front of you, memes and AI are the two leading narratives in terms of mindshare. So if looking a bit more from a macro lens, if we do go into full bull, I do anticipate these are the trends that are going to be super strong. One trend as well that you'll see highlighted in red here that has started to crop up recently is GameFi. The launch of Off the Grid, which is going to have a GUNZILLA token launch at some point within, I think, the next few months. That has really catalyzed a bit of a new wave, or at least people talking about gaming again. So GameFi is something I'll probably dig into later in the week as a potential third narrative which could run next that has been really quiet, but that is something I wanted to point out on Kaito Analytics here, that GameFi is finally starting to now gain in mindshare again. But memes still occupy 30% of the mindshare of the space. This is largely due to the fact that they are exhibiting strong network effect, and that of course comes off the back of super strong price action. You can see here from a monthly time frame, the meme coins and the AI coins have been the two strongest performers. So it's only natural that your strongest performers are also going to command the strongest mindshare in the market, because price is basically the purest and most effective form of advertising for any project. Looking at the price performance of a lot of these memes over the past week, you have SPX being the top leader, up 125%. The Nero CTO coins up 41%. MOG 20%. Brett, 29%, and many other smaller cap memes, if you go into the top 200 on Banter Bubbles here in the top 300, absolutely exploding. ARPU, which is one on Murad's list. Later in the video, we're going to go through his entire list and we're going to review it. I'll let you know what altcoins in the meme coin space I like, what ones I don't like so much. Bitcoin, up a lot. This isn't the Bitcoin, obviously, you know and love. This is the Sonic Bitcoin, Baby Doge, Turbo, and if you go into the top 300 plus, it's pretty much all memes. Pretty much memes are dominating the entire market right now, and that's why we're making today's video, right? Because it's your job as an investor to be in the strongest trends. It's your job as an investor to spot trends and rotate and allocate capital towards sectors where you can actually outperform the market, and it's very clear that memes are outperforming the market. Even on the recent bounce, memes and AI were once again, over the past couple of days, the strongest performers. This always tends to indicate to me that on the next expansionary leg to the upside, the tokens that perform the best during dips tend to be the ones that continue to outperform. Taking a more macro view of cycle performance, I have this spreadsheet here which aggregates the layer 1 performance, layer 2 performance in a variety of sectors. You can see that memes have really taken the cake when it comes to their average performance year to date, with coins like WIF, PEPE, Doge, Shiba, POPCAT, and MOG. These are the ones that I'm using for the sample size here, up massively. POPCAT is skewing the data a little bit. You can replace this with other coins, but even if you put GIGA in there, SPX in there, it's very clear that memes have been the strongest performers this cycle and are largely outperforming the layer 1s, which are up 20% as the next best niche. I don't have AI included in here, just for the sake of comparison. Layer 2s are down, and a lot of the newer VC coins, like the new Binance coins, are actually down as well. The Memecoin Supercycle race has also opened up. I'll just move my face a little bit so you can actually see here. We have a bunch of new coins now. A lot of these are the Murad coins, which we'll review later in today's video, that have now come into the picture. So obviously it used to be just Doge and Shib and FOXY and WIF and PEPE have come and risen to prominence this cycle. Now we have POPCAT solidifying itself above $1 billion. ARPU has now entered the top 20. You can see Brett as well holding firm, but a few new entries as well. SPX, which is the S&P 6900 meme that has really been the top meme leader over this last month. GIGA has also entered, and a couple other new entries as well. So the Memecoin Supercycle race, which is the image in front of you, has blown open, and there are some new entrants. And I want to ask you a question to answer in the comments below. Out of this list, what meme do you think has the best chance of entering the top 3 and flipping Doge? Are any of these, in your opinion, strong candidates to flip Doge? When I go through and review a few of these, I'll let you know my favorites. There are a couple which I have been accumulating, and there are a couple which I think I wouldn't accumulate now because I think they've just run up too much and I'm waiting for a cooldown. I'll go through that full strategy. I've been answering a lot of questions and really hanging out with you guys in the Meme Talk channel in the Discord. This channel has been going crazy. It's probably the most active channel right now in the Mars High Club. So if you do want to be part of a community where we chat memes and we post a lot of low cap memes and alpha, we also have Memecoin indicators we're rolling out, all of that stuff, come and be a part of the Mars High Club. The Meme Talk channel would be a great place for you to hang out. In my alpha channel as well, I do post a lot of these calls, not just memes, but my alpha calls first. That's pretty much the number one place that I'll post them before I, make a YouTube video or a tweet. You can see we hit a nice FOXY breakout trade. Yesterday, it went from, I think, 8.5 to 9.7. We hit a nice ClearPool trade. I actually got the community in at like 12 cents. This is now around 18 to 19 cents. Also up from when I made the YouTube video. Hippo as well. I got you guys into. That did a 3x. That was one of the recent Memecoin trades. And I just want to give a shout out to Doc as well. He's one of our high time frame chart analysts. He's been really big on ARPU. He's done lots of ARPU calls in his chart analysis channel. And that has been one of the strongest performers actually entering the Memecoin supercycle race here. So it's not just me. We have other analysts, of course, that are amazing in their own way that are supporting me in the group. One of which is Paradise, who's been absolutely killing it. You can see here in his crypto trades channel, pretty much every day he's posting setups for memes. You can see PEPE here looks promising, on the verge of a potential breakout. Earlier today, he was also charting Mother for a potential trade setup there. You can see he hit an amazing Eigen trade of 300% the other day. And yeah, he's pretty much updating these setups all the time. CPOOL, he also got into and did well on. Nero, CTO, he hit the trade there. Bonk, Tau, and a bunch of them. And you can see the members that have been absolutely killing it over the past few days. I actually want to say well done to all the members that have been participating in the group, trading these memes, and playing a lot of these setups, because it has been a really profitable and fun couple of weeks to be in the Discord. If you are interested in joining, we have a little bit more space. We're going to let in up to 1,000 members. I think last time I checked, we had like maybe 100 spots left, maybe 150 spots left. So if you do want to secure your spot before we close the gates again, there is a link in the description below. And yeah, if you really want to maximize meme season, I'm trying to make that like the place to be with all the alpha that we've got there. And I think you'll come out pretty well ahead if you follow, especially some of the systems that we teach there. Our trading systems with Paradise and Doc are absolutely amazing in my opinion. Okay, now let's look at some memes. We've established so far in this video that memes are the strongest performing sector. So now let's look at the price action of some of them. Then let's get into the question of whether it's too late to buy meme coins. And I also want to talk to you about why I think meme coins are at a major crossroads right now. It's not really a popular opinion. It's a little bit controversial, but I do have a thesis as to where I think the price action of memes is going to go in the coming days, which we definitely need to talk about. But firstly, let's take a look at some of the most popular memes I'm interested in, but taking a more, technical lens looking at them. Now, what I want to note is that technicals on meme coins are great for risk management. They're great for entries and exits. They're great for tracking momentum, especially if you're using the moving average indicators, using the RSI indicators. But at the end of the day, meme coins are driven by community. They're driven by cults. They're driven by network effect. And sometimes that's not tangibly recognizable on the chart. But in terms of recognizing momentum, Charts/TA do a good job, so we can go through it now and recap some of the strong memes and what they've done. SPX, we have to start with. This is pretty much Murad's number one shill. It's also his biggest holdings. His wallet's actually got doxed recently, and I think he was holding, at the time, like $20 million worth of SPX, which is now, I think, worth over 40-50 million of just the wallets that were doxed. He very well may own $80 million or something ridiculous worth of this coin. But SPX has been his number one shill and has been subsequently the strongest performer in the market as Murad's thesis has started to really perpetuate across CT, proliferate actually might be the better word there, and really enter the mindshare of the collective. His tweets right now, by the way, I don't know if you've been paying attention to Murad, but they're basically the highest engaged tweets on CT, getting 5, 6, 7,000 likes per post. He's really managed to garner a cult following, and SPX is the number one coin that he's shilling and also has managed to garner that following, has a pretty good dollar per holding ratio. It's pretty well diversified. These are two metrics that I look for when I'm identifying meme coins. The thing about meme coins is you're looking for cults. You're looking for people that get in, make a bunch of money, shill it to their friends, and end up like really working for their bag. So the meme coins that do the best are the ones where you have like this cultish religion-esque behavior. And I do think the memes I'll discuss today, but specifically SPX does have that, and that's one of the reasons why fundamentally I'm bullish on it. We will get into whether I think you should buy it maybe in a couple of minutes here, but certainly the reasons for its success aren't strange. It pretty much has the exact meme coin formula that you look for in this market. It's at 820 million right now. That's a very high market cap. It did go up to $1 billion and ended up rejecting around $1 billion. I actually bought around here on this breakout at 250 mil market cap. This one's been frustrating me personally because I put in, I think, like a 50K position. This is when SPX first came onto my radar, actually during a Discord AMA. So every single week I do an AMA in the Discord. I actually had one a couple of hours ago. That's where I basically answer your questions. I give you updates on my positioning, new meme coins that I was buying, and everyone in the chat was talking about SPX because it was pumping at the time. And I decided live on that AMA I was going to take a 30% position into SPX. So I was roughly going to put in like 150K. I put in 50 because I just wanted an initial position, to hedge against potential upside. That hedge worked in a sense because that 50K is now worth, I think, 170K or almost 200K. But the problem is, if I had put in the whole 150, of course, my position would be worth like 600K now. So it's one of these annoying scenarios where like I basically just didn't have time to accumulate the ideal position. And look, you just have to accept that in crypto. It happens, but it's been a frustrating coin for me and probably a frustrating coin for some of you that have been sitting on the sidelines. The primary reason that I have exposure and wanted exposure is because I think if Murad continues to hold his mind share, or if retail comes into the space and sees Murad and his thesis, SPX is going to be the number one coin he's shilling. You also have the Roaring Kitty shill, which has now, I think, just added to the case because he's like the Wall Street Bets guy that, basically pumped GameStop. So having him on board with this whole like meme coin thesis and shilling SPX kind of gives it a bit more like legitimacy on like the TradFi gambler side, which may open it up to a new market. But it has run a lot, and that is something to be wary of. You are now starting to get a cool down. Maybe a pullback into this orange zone here at the 700 mil market cap region could be a decent point to add. I will get into my exact accumulation strategy later, but the TLDR for a coin like SPX is generally you want to wait for periods where it does cool down to accumulate. We are getting one right now, but this could go deeper, and I would just be aware that, look, it's ran up a lot, and you may get pullbacks like this, and then it may squeeze the new highs and then pull back again and kind of do this. Like, that can happen, the chop. Just like Bitcoin's been chopping, meme coins can also chop, and they also have drawdowns, right? They're not immune to drawdowns despite how strong they've been over recent weeks. Another one is GIGA. I recently spoke to a team member at GIGA the other day, and honestly, it was really bullish hearing how they've grown organically. They really embody the meme coin spirit, having grown at a grassroots level. So I think GIGA is definitely one that I think has a lot of potential just due to the fact that, they aren't forking away a bunch of supply to get paid shills. They aren't, they're growing really organically. They have really focused on just onboarding retail, and they're also going into like fitness and doing cool stuff like that. So I think there's a really strong community here, and that's one of the reasons why it's been strong. Once again, you're in a similar position to SPX where it's just pumped so massively, and you are, if you're buying now, chasing a pump. POPCAT is similar. It has run up a lot. This is one that I have called multiple times on the show. This is actually grown to be my second biggest meme coin holding after PEPE. So right now, I think the rankings in terms of my personal bags, and this is just by nature of how they've performed as well as what I initially put in, is PEPE number one by far, just because that was the biggest bag. I'm up a 40x on PEPE. Obviously, I've been taking profits over time, but it's still, a large position. Next is POPCAT. This is one that, as you guys know, if you've been watching these videos, I've been accumulating pretty much the whole year on dips throughout June, July. This one, I think I have an average buy price of 60 to 70 cents. It's now my second biggest position. And then coming in at number 3 is WIF. Then number 4, I think it might be between SPX and MOG. I think MOG slightly edges SPX. Just to give you an idea for my meme coin portfolio and how I'm personally doing it. In terms of POPCAT though, it has run up a lot. So this is another one where I would be probably waiting for a cooldown. And even look, a few days ago, we got an entry at $1.12, and I did a tweet saying that you should probably look at longing the coins that were exhibiting strength pre-dip. And POPCAT gave us another entry, which I actually took on a trading basis, which I've now closed. But my spot position, I'm still holding for the slightly longer term. MOG is another one that I think has started to pick up due to the fact that it's one of the coins that hadn't pumped as much on Murad's list. Like, you know, SPX, GIGA, POPCAT had all reached all-time highs. MOG hasn't reached all-time highs yet, so it has a little bit more leeway to run. This is one that I also mentioned last week and the week before as one that I thought was going to catch up. And since that video, I believe it's run up like 38% from the first video, and even since the last video, it's up another 20%. So MOG's been a great performer. It is one of my top 5 meme coin holdings, as I explained before, and it hasn't reached all-time high yet. I do think eventually, and by eventually, this could happen pretty soon, MOG ends up squeezing above its all-time high and entering a price discovery zone like POPCAT has reached. And then PEPE is obviously my biggest holding. Like, let's give you an update here. PEPE's been a bit of a lagger, but that's good because it's giving us a bit more time to accumulate. It probably isn't as strong because Murad's not really shilling it. It is on his list, but it's not one of his top conviction coins, and it probably just doesn't have as strong of a community on Twitter. But the thing to recognize about PEPE is that Pepe the Frog is one of the most important and recognizable memes on the internet, and for that reason alone, I think it has enough uniqueness about it to really go on a nice run, and I do think at some point this will push a lot higher. So for me, this is another one that I just want to accumulate on dips. I managed to get an entry here in this green zone, which I shared on the show, and if you just want to play it from a technical level, the reclaim of the 10.89 zone, which is this level here, which was one of the local highs for Pepe, could be a decent one on the flip from resistance into support to get into for a potential play to go to all-time highs. So that's what I'm looking at. If not, I might look at a support buy around here, but I don't really want to play it in the middle of the range. Okay, but now we've discussed a few memes, and you know what ones I'm bullish on. Let's discuss what my actual feeling is on buying memes. Like, in general, should you be aping now if you don't already have exposure, or maybe should you wait? The first thing I want to address is this. It's the fact that you shouldn't be rotating your alts, because a lot of people I'm seeing in my YouTube comments, in my Twitter, in my Discord are asking, you know, Miles, I hold Athena or Rune or Phantom or Sui or Solana. Like, should I be selling these utility alts that I've, you know, built a portfolio of for memes? Should I be trading out of these coins into memes? I did this tweet this morning. I said meme coins are great and will probably be the number one performing trend this cycle, just based on the mindshare and the relative strength in terms of price performance, but don't completely fade utility alts. I still feel like there's a lot of upside, specifically in AI, gaming, and infrastructure, L1s, etc. Have a few high conviction bets across each of these sectors. So I really wouldn't, at this stage of the meme coin run, be panicking to rotate out of utility into memes. If you did it last week, cool. You've probably made money. You've probably made even a 15%, 20% differential on your trade. As time goes on, the opportunity or the RR on that trade actually diminishes. And what we've seen today even is majors and Bitcoin start to pick up again versus memes. So it does ebb and flow. And you typically want to use the moments where, you know, memes aren't as hot and people rotate back into majors. You want to use those moments to rotate back into memes and vice versa instead of chasing pumps. I go on to say here, suddenly selling your alts for memes is stupid unless you have a clear plan. Literally the definition of chasing hype. If you've seriously changed your thesis over recent weeks, it's better to define a proper entry plan which gradually adjusts your weightings. House of Crypto says here as well, have just got to read the comments to see the saturation. No wonder 95% of retail investors lose in crypto. And if you go through the comments, everyone's saying, no, you know, not going to make it. You know, I'm all in on memes, etc. This is the one thing that's starting to worry me about this meme coin run that I'll touch on in a second. It's just how saturated it has become on CT and how onside CT is. So offside means people are positioned against the narrative or not in a narrative. Onside means people are aggressively positioned in a narrative or, towards a trend. I feel like most people are on side when it comes to meme coins right now. So look, here's the thing. I'll talk about fresh buys in a minute, but when it comes to current positions, like let's say you hold Solana, let's say you hold Phantom, whatever you may hold, right? If you had a reason that you bought Phantom, for example, if you had a reason that you bought, let's just go through the list, Mantra, or Jupiter, or Solana, or Injective, if that reason isn't invalidated, you really have to think about whether it's a wise idea, whether it's prudent to rotate out of something where you have a perfectly existing and intact thesis into a meme where your thesis is really just being driven by recency bias and recent price action. Because it's a dangerous game to play the game of hot potato. I did it, last cycle, thinking back to 2021, there were so many times where I would just rotate around bags and I would end up playing this game of hot potato and eventually I'd lose everything because I'd just be rotating in and out of positions. And, well, I didn't lose everything last cycle, but there were times where I did because I was just, flippantly just rotating from position to position. I've kind of learnt my lesson there. I've learnt that if I have a thesis, I like to stick to it. I like to see it out. There is a valid scenario where, look, maybe your thesis has genuinely changed. Maybe for some reason this week has been a light bulb moment for you with meme coins and you want to make the decision to shift some capital out. Cool. You can do that, but do it slowly. If you do it all at once, if you do it quickly, that probably indicates that you're making a decision out of FOMO. If you do it slowly, maybe over a 1 month period, or just do it on major dips, just slightly, tweak your positioning, at least psychologically that you'll have time to actually test your thesis. And over that time, you also just have a better gauge of what memes are performing. Because right now, you're probably just going to, like if you're doing a transfer now, you're just going to ape into the top ones, right? Which have already run a lot. So I think it's a dangerous game to rotate purely into utility. Into memes from utility. The other thing is, utility's still going to perform really well this cycle. Like, yes, memes might be the top performing sector. And yes, if you don't have like a 20 to 30% exposure to memes, maybe you should fix that, right? But suddenly flipping from a utility/tech alt-driven thesis to a meme thesis, in my opinion, doesn't make much sense considering the fundamentals of this cycle haven't changed. I still think there's huge demand for AI and gaming infra specifically. RWA is a really strong trend. We've seen multiple L1s perform really well. When Bitcoin breaks all-time high, a lot of these utility alts, I'm not talking the VC scams, but the alts with genuine utility, they're going to perform really well. And you're also going to want exposure to them alongside memes. So I don't really view it as a game of like, you need to pick one or the other, like memes or utility. That's just a CT narrative that is currently being pushed upon you. I believe it's better to have a mix of both, have quality utility altcoins across the sectors which I mentioned, and also have exposure to memes. And for the last 6 months of content, if not longer, you guys have been, hearing from me talking about AI, memes, RWA, and what are the narratives that are performing the most strongly over the past couple of months? It's AI, it's memes, it's RWA, it's L1s. I've been discussing, all this stuff. So it's really, your thesis, my thesis hasn't changed, and nor really should yours, especially if you've been watching these videos. You'll know we've been sticking to the exact same narratives. I think Horse has a good tweet here. They say, the fact that meme coin advocates argue just to believe in something reveals their underlying awareness of the inherent lack of substance in 99% of these coins. While many projects in the crypto space may ultimately turn out to be vaporware, it's still far easier for people to buy into and stick with a technology-driven narrative than to invest in something whose entire premise is built on nothing but hype. He is kind of right here in saying that, look, a lot of retail that comes into the market, not everyone is coming in for a blind gamble. Some of them do want to actually feel like they're investing in tech, especially the more sophisticated investors that are playing with more capital. They don't just want to pour money into CAT PFPs. Yes, there's a section of the market that does want to do that, but not everyone will want to do that, and that does still create underlying demand for alts. Once again, especially as macro conditions improve and Bitcoin hits new all-time highs, I think you will see renewed interest across the altcoin market. Not every alt. We know this cycle is the cycle of asset selection where there's a huge premium on getting your positioning right, but certainly the alts under the top mindshare sectors, they're going to perform well. What are these? AI, I talk about it a lot. AI is a sector I'm quite bullish on. Real world assets as well. I think this is a little more nascent because there's only really a few top plays. I shared one of my top plays, CPOOL, recently is one that I took a position in. You guys know I've been an investor in Mantra and ONDO as well. They've been two of the strongest performers in the market this year, so they've been good ones to be in. Gaming as well is starting to wake up a little bit, according to Mindshare. I think this is one of the next sectors which hasn't run yet, which will probably run. Beam's actually up almost a 2x since I shared that position with you on the show. I also shared that in my Discord. Echelon Prime still hasn't made a major move. I'm looking at this one, and there are a few others as well. CARV, which recently launched, is doing really well. In fact, I'll show you the price action on CARV. It's absolutely crazy. It's up like 60-70% today. So that's been absolutely pumping. That's a new AI/gaming project, which I think merges those two narratives quite well. So there are all these really solid fundamental projects in the gaming space, which I think are primed for upside. And AI, gaming, RWA, these are three of the narratives I'm looking at. I also think select DeFi plays are going to do well. So Rune, Athena are two that I'm bullish on. I think some L1s are going to do really well. I think Phantom will do well. I think Sui could continue to do well, but the recent price action for me doesn't make it a compelling long now. Back when I did my last portfolio video when it was around 90 cents, it was compelling. At $2.30, it's probably not compelling. So it's not just about asset selection. It's also about, the price in which you pay for an asset. There can be bad assets at great prices and bad prices for really good assets. And you kind of have to go for the assets where it merges. It's a good asset and a good price, if that makes sense. Now, let me explain, going back to meme coins, why I think memes are at a crossroads, because this may help you a lot when it comes to positioning in memes. And answer the question is it too late to buy? Should you be positioning now? I've kind of touched on it in terms of alts and rotating alts into memes, but what if you just have stable coins and you want to deploy into memes? Should you be doing that now? Well, here's my opinion. Memes over the past few weeks have really started to explode on crypto Twitter. I think crypto Twitter, as I highlighted before, has become very saturated in terms of the meme narrative. If you scroll through your feed right now, you'll notice it's all meme coins. All everyone's talking about is meme coins. Now, last week, it was just crypto Twitter. On the YouTube side, there wasn't much interest for memes, so there was a bit of a discrepancy. What I am now seeing, though, is meme coin videos starting to go viral on YouTube. This video probably will do better than the one last week. The one last week started picking up over the weekend and gaining views a week later, which is a sign it's something that's being searched for. Other big channels are now jumping on the meme narrative, and it's starting to gain a bit more traction on the YouTube side. But here's the thing about memes and why I say that they're at a crossroads. They have a decision to make now. Because most of CT is on side, and because YouTube is now, maybe it takes another week or two, but getting on side, where is this liquidity going to come from to sustain the multi-billion-dollar valuations that a lot of these are now commanding? Where is the liquidity going to come from to pump meme coins in the short term if everyone seems to be on side? Obviously not everyone is, but a lot of people are on side. Well, the answer is that it's got to come from more normie retail coming in. So more normies from TikTok and, just casual YouTube viewers and casual CT members, these are the ones that are going to have to come in and become interested in memes. But this is why I say they're at a crossroads, because either this is like a local top that's forming. It may be today, it may be in a week, but, around this general vicinity. Either it's a local top that's forming and CT has reached, peak bubble, and it's going to cool down for a little bit before. I still think long-term memes will do really well. 2025, I still think will be the year for meme coins. But I'm saying this is all short-term talk right now. And that obviously impacts how you actually DCA into these coins. So either there's a local top and they cool off, or memes now really start to transgress into the mainstream on mainstream social media, and we get liquidity coming in. And this is really, truly just the beginning. It's one or the other. Now, I am leaning towards the former. I think there's a stronger chance we're going to top out for a little bit and memes are going to cool down than the latter happening, which is a big meme coin super cycle happening now. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen later. In fact, once liquidity conditions improve for Bitcoin, so Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, liquidity comes into Bitcoin, alts start performing well, I think memes, as the strongest narrative in terms of relative strength, will really pick up and have potential to go massively parabolic. That's going to take time, though. I don't think Bitcoin puts in an all-time high for at least a few weeks, maybe not till the end of the year, even Q1. This is going to take time to develop, so I don't know if memes are ready now to go into that massive expansionary phase. Now, is it worth having principal exposure in the form of spot to meme coins in case they transgress right now into this, retail realm and go really big? Yes, that's why I have exposure, and that's why even now I'll DCA a little bit on dips. But I am aware that there's a chance that this is the cool down point and the saturation point, just due to how oversaturated it seems on my feed right now, and it just feels like a little bit toppy. If that's the case, I still want to have some stables reserved for a bit more of a measured strategy to enter meme coins. So for that reason, I do believe you have to take a bit of a cautious approach. I mean, a lot of these have run up a lot. They're at all-time highs. They're breaching all-time highs. It's real meme coin mania at the moment. I think what probably happens is over the next couple of weeks, we see a lot of majors start to stall. So the major meme coins, like the mid to large caps, start to stall, and liquidity start to rotate into the smaller memes. I think that'll give us a bit of a meme coin season for 2 weeks amongst the smaller coins, because think about it, if you've made a crap ton of money on SPX or POPCAT and you've got the feeling for hitting a 10x, you're probably going to want to play in the casino again and hit that 10x feeling again. So a lot of these whales are going to rotate back into some of the smaller cap memes, giving memes this like final rotation. But in my opinion, that would ultimately be the final push and a local top before things just cool down, reset, and then maybe go again when Bitcoin reaches all-time highs or slightly later in the year. That is a very logical scenario that I am personally somewhat subscribing to right now. But keep in mind, a crossroads is a crossroads. To be fair to the argument, it's going to go in one of either directions. Either it's looking like a local top, or we're going to go and cross the chasm into retail mania. Definitely worth having some exposure in case we do cross the chasm sooner rather than later. But I personally don't think that'll be until 2025. So what's the plan then? The plan is firstly to define your accumulation list. You need to have a list of your top memes predefined. So on major dips, if this happens to be like a little cooldown period or a local top, whatever you want to call it, that could be a great opportunity to ladder into some memes that you missed. What are some of them I'm looking at? Well, obviously the Murad list has been really strong and you have to pay attention to it. SPX is one. This is one that I personally want exposure to. The growth's been insane. The dispersion amongst holders is great. The average dollar per holder is great. So that's one that I want exposure to. GIGA as well. I met the team. I thought they were amazing. PEPE, I already have a lot of exposure to. I'm bullish. POPCAT, I already have a lot of exposure to. I'm bullish. WIF, I already have a lot of exposure to. I'm bullish. That's from the top list. What else down the list do I like? I like ARPU as a play. I like Mitchie as a play. This is another one I hold some. I like MOG as a play. You guys know I'm bullish on that. There are a few others as well. I think if Tron comes back, Sundog's a play. I think FOXY is a play into the linear airdrop. I mean, FOXY, the narrative is really interesting on that one. Let me actually get the chart up right now for you quickly. Because FOXY's a $28 million market cap coin that's listed on OKX and Bybit. It's pretty rare that you have a leading animal, in this case the fox, especially with its public connections to, linear/consensus, on a major centralized exchange that is so low in terms of market cap. So, it takes a lot of liquidity to pump an SPX or a POPCAT. It doesn't take much liquidity to pump FOXY at the moment. And we've already started to see the breakout from that level that I pointed out in my Discord in the Alpha channel. This is where I post these setups as I start to see them unfold. You can see here, it's already started to make that move into the 10-cent region. And if it can target this level here, that is a major level it needs to flip again in order to, really climb out of the bearish price action that it had been in. But this is your first target, which is it's not 12 cents, it's 1.2 cents technically. That's the zone I'm eyeing on FOXY that this potential move could take us into. So, I don't know, I just feel like given its exchange listings, its market cap is really low. And if you guys watched the Luke Belmer podcast the other day, you'll know that the path of least resistance is very important when it comes to memes. You want to be getting into memes that are easy to access, and the memes that are on OKXs and Bybits have a huge advantage. It's one of the reasons why the Nero CTO coin was one of the strongest performers this week, because it was on, you can see it here, because it was on Binance. Brett, why is that such a strong performance? Because it's on major exchanges like Bybit. FOXY has a similar thing, and the market cap isn't that big. So I like that. Let's just look through my meme list here. I like Mew as a play. Haven't taken a position, but I've been considering it. It's just run up a lot, so waiting for a cooldown, but I'll let you know when I do take a position there. Yeah, Mitchie's been a great one. I still think this has a lot of upside. Super organic community meme. very strong community, so I like that as well. So those are some of the memes, and I'm sure there's more, but those are the main ones that come to mind that I would be adding on dips. And I would be slowly adding these over time. I wouldn't be FOMOing in all at once. I do think, as you can see here, I think the Murad coins go a lot higher, especially next year, just due to the fact that when retail comes into the space, they're going to listen to the loudest figure with the biggest price targets, and that is Murad, similar to what Becca and Elio were to gaming last cycle. So I think that does continue to fuel prices higher. I would just be measured in how I accumulate due to the crossroads thesis that I spoke about. Also, the thing to note is that, look, Bitcoin, although it's looking very, very, very strong right now, there are still potential for pullbacks, especially heading into the election. I'm of the personal belief, and this is just my theory, that we get at least one more shakeout before the election within the next month that potentially takes us back down to the low 60s or high 50s. I think what will typically happen during these shakeouts is you'll get one shakeout. Everyone that sideline that wants to buy the dip will buy the dip. The market will bounce. They'll think, we're out of the woods. Then we'll get a second shakeout that rinses through those positions. Let's say those longs that would take it at 60k, it might take us down to 57, 58, and then the real rally starts once the leverage is flushed out of the market. Because open interest has started to build again over the past few days, and typically you need flush outs to sustain rallies in the market. So I am still eyeing a flush out pre-election. That would be probably a really good opportunity to accumulate a lot of these memes, AI projects, and just top up on quality projects in your portfolio. Do keep an eye out on Bitcoin though, because we are going to make an attempt here very soon of pushing above resistance. So there is a scenario where we rally over the next week, we break above, and then the flush just takes us back down to like where we are now. That is a scenario, but yeah, just letting you know, my general feeling is that we will get some sort of flush before the election, and that will probably be when I enter with like a lot more size. Right now we're heading into resistance. Meme coins are run a lot, so it's not really responsible of me to be like, hey, just go and ape into memes now. Like, I think you got to take a much more measured approach personally, and one that's very strategic, especially when it comes to rotating out of alts into memes. You got to be careful. And of course, as this guide suggests, if there is a meme position you really want to FOMO into and it's killing you inside, put 30% in. That's what I did on SPX. And yet, look, even though I didn't make 600k, I still made 100k in a week, which is crazy. But it's just frustrating because I wanted to make more, but that's just the inner greed in us crypto degens. It's always should have made more, but that SPX move for me protected myself against upside. I could have had nothing right now, but I have a little bit of a position because I followed my rule of when in doubt, put 30% in, and you can follow that for other memes. If you're really bullish and you don't know what to do, you can get 30% in. And that can kind of hedge against a little bit of upside. I'm going to be keeping you updated in the Memecoin channel as to whether I make any positional moves, as well as the alpha channel in the Mars High Club. In the institutional research channel, as you can see in front of you, we're posting a lot of AI analytics on Mindshare to help you spot trends. So Sayaz, who's one of our top researchers, breaks this down. And Kaito is like a $10,000 a year platform, by the way, that you'll have access to the top insights in the group. Pretty decent value add if you ask me, having access to a $10,000 product and getting curated insights from our team. We basically go through and we look at the top gainers for Mindshare, which can help you spot narratives and trends, as well as projects and trends that have been losing Mindshare. And we have a summary at the end, which can help you position yourself. The TLDR right now is that memes and AI are probably still the two best sectors to be positioned in, with gaming starting to look a little bit better, DeFi also starting to look a little bit better. But we'll update you on any changes in that channel. There's a link in the description below if you want to join the Mars High Club and get a bit more hand-holding in a market which I think really requires it right now, because there's so much opportunity, and myself and the analysts are there to, of course, help guide you through the journey and help you level up your trading and investing game. I'm going to see you in the next video tomorrow. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. See you later. Peace out.